All right, listeners. So, as we promised last episode, Conrad and I are going to walk through how to segment audiences. And it's really, as I listen back, and please feel free to correct me, really segmenting down to where qualified lead traffic is coming from. But before we get there, as we were talking in the pre-show, it's really important to talk about what do we mean by qualified traffic in the first place. Conrad, when you start thinking about qualified traffic, where do you start?
The key here is this is someone who might be in the market to hire you, right? And you can build nuances around what that actually means. But this might be one of those examples of where it's easier to talk about the contrapositive than the positive. People who are not geographically in your market, who literally you are prohibited from working from because you are not barred in Wisconsin, are not part of your addressable market. That should not be something that you consider or look into when you're talking about the success of your site. And that becomes like there's a geographic component. The other way I would look at this, Guy, is what kind of content are they looking at? Right. So we've been very critical of the stupid content that exists on some website. You guys have heard us talk about the Brooklyn style pizza ad nauseum. For loyal listeners, you'll remember that. And the site that got a whole bunch of content of traffic for Brooklyn style pizza, and their SEOs were celebrating it. And we thought that was a bunch of crap. And so there's a content element to this as well. And you're right. That really is intent. So it's intent plus geography to me.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense as a starting point. Some lawyers might push back and say, oh, hey, I might actually get referrals or something from out of state, depending on the nature of the type of practice that I have. But I think generally I'm with you. Most local law firms, like the lion's share of organic traffic is going to be in state, in market, probably even tighter than that for a really local law firm.
Well, the obvious example of that is like the DUI in Las Vegas, right? I went to Vegas, got fucking hammered, and now I'm at home in Sheboygan, and I'm like, I need to hire a DUI lawyer in Las Vegas. But that's the exception, right? It's the exception rather than the rule.
And I'm with you on those, and I'm certainly with you on intent. And again, this is where things are tricky, because if you really want to look at different intent data, you're really stuck from an organic standpoint. You're stuck with Search Console data. Yes, you can say, I assume that this page is ranking, and that's why it's generating this traffic on GA, but Search Console is really the only place you're getting organic query data. And so I'd be thinking about that in the context of relevant intent. And that's also where you segment brand, non-brand.
Yep.
And specifically there, again, because I didn't want to gloss over like the how-tos, because that's really what we were talking about. And at least from a traffic standpoint, for me, if I'm like, look, I want to see qualified intent, I'm looking at non-brand queries, maybe that include maybe lawyer and use a regex. We're not going to have time to teach you how to do regex, but go look up a regex where you're looking at, if you're just in Search Console, you're not exporting Search Console data anywhere, like you're looking at it in the interface. A regex that includes like attorney, law firm. I'd also be looking for like practice specific queries. That's the way to look at it from an intent standpoint and organic from a query standpoint. But my thing is, and this is good. This is a good starting place. The way that the next level, it's not that you don't do those two segments, but I actually want to see qualified consultation traffic. So that's right. Because guess what else happens?
Question. Yeah,
guess what else you see? That example in Vegas that you use, that shows up because it's marked qualified consultation. And so you see, person called us from Vegas.
Yeah.
And they qualified. That's something. Now, again, you also get to see that maybe those are one-offs and that the 80% is coming from this other thing. But once you segment by qualified, that there's some signal of quality, to your point, it's one step further in the journey, because you're actually like, this person, the firm agrees that this was a qualified lead. That's really valuable to see.